I hope you're all keeping warm. It is really cold for Kentucky. I think January is a month, we've just come through the holidays, and that was a lot. That was a lot of work. And there's all this talk in January of New Year's resolutions and New Year, New You, and all that kind of thing. But I think it's a great month to kind of hibernate, actually. I always wish we could all hibernate in January, but just rest after the holiday season. And I'm really having a lot of fun just sort of thinking and dreaming about things I want to do, house projects for this upcoming year. I'm not going to do anything this month, but I'm dreaming about it, and I am moving some furniture around and making things cozy, but that's like fun and easy, just pulling things I already have. So I wanted to share with you today the progress that we've made on the house and what I'm hoping and dreaming to do this year, and hopefully get some of your input and insights. I'd really like to make curtains, Roman shades for my windows. This year, these windows in our bedroom have been bare ever since we moved in the house. And I'd like to make a Roman shade with an interlining for extra warmth. Now I'm sitting on this radiator in my room, which feels great. I made it into this cozy nook with these pillows, and then I just got gifted this basket from my husband, and so I put a blanket in here, and I just love having this blanket in this basket. It's like a little invitation. So I've been working on putting these invitations all over the house. And then downstairs last year, I went through Laurel Burns' rules and tips for living rooms, and I realized that a lot of my end tables in my living room are too tall for the chairs, and so I finally did something about it, and I dragged some end tables that I had in the attic that my aunt had passed down to me, that are real end tables, and they are the correct height, and I put them on either side of my little love seat. And I took the old antique sewing tables, which are also heirlooms from the family, and I moved them to other parts of the house. And I moved our game table, which is too high to be a table, really, a side table. I moved that out to the hallway, and I put a circle table in between these two chairs, which is something else she recommends. If you have two chairs, a circle table would be the best thing. I just wanted to cozy up and refresh the room a little bit. We took down everything Christmas decorations in the living room except for the tree. Full disclosure, our tree is still up. I just haven't had time to wrap up all the ornaments and get it out. But I wanted to try this thing that I see a lot in like English country decorating. And what it is, I've noticed in a lot of pictures, especially of rooms that Rita Koenig has done, she's one of my absolute favorites, is she will tuck a plaid throw over the back of a sofa, and she'll like tuck it into the bottoms of the cushions, but have it covering the whole back of the sofa. And I wanted to try that just to change the room up a little bit. So first I tried this wool buffalo check plaid blanket that we have, but I didn't like how it looked. It was a little too heavy and dark, I think, with the black stripes. Yeah, so I took it off, and then I tried again with this wool Peruvian horse blanket that belongs to my husband. This is the warmest blanket in the world. It's so wonderful, and I liked the softer colors much better. So I decided to try it out tucked into the love seat. I love the upholstery on this love seat, but just to change it, just for a change. It's January, New Year. Change things that are easy to change. Before I saw that look by Rita Koenig, I tried this red pillow there, but I ended up not liking it. I'm trying to get the red out. So I want to do like cozy decor for winter, but to de-Christmasify everything, I'm trying to tuck the red away. And so I'm going to take this pillow out and try a different one. with more neutral colors. But as I was saying before, I saw Rita Koenig tucking these blankets over the backs of sofas. It's kind of a very granny, I guess you could say it's granny chic, right? So sometimes I need to see designers that I like doing things like that to give myself permission, because I probably would have thought it was too homely or too old-fashioned. And I do tend to get sometimes a little too old-fashioned, I think, in my decor and in my dressing as well. But I did like how it looked, and I'm glad to see that she had those. I would like to get some plaid blankets. I love the Stuart plaid. I love the Stuart dress plaid. I love I think it's called Stuart Royal with the red background. Those are some of the prettiest ones. So I'm going to be looking for wool throws in those plaids and any other beautiful plaids that I happen to see. I tried the same thing out on my longer couch over on the other side of the room. This couch was my grandparents' and my parents'. We had it reupholstered when it came to us. It's a really great quality mid-century modern couch. And I tucked this thin woolen blanket. It's a chocolate brown behind there. I wish I had a plaid one, but I kind of like how it looks. I would love to get a green velvet sofa, particularly this one. I think it is so gorgeous. That's not really in the cards right now, but I just wanted to show you. This is really what I wish I had in my living room. But the other one is great. It's a great quality sofa. And one thing that I would love to try to do is I would love to try to make a slipcover for it this year, maybe in a green velvet. I've never made a slipcover before, but the upholstery is getting pretty worn out on this one. It's a green cotton duck fabric, and even when I wash the cushions now, I just cannot get all the marks out. So it's time for a change. I am leaving this chocolate blanket here for now. I love the fringe on the ends. I think that's really fun. And then I turned my attention to this corner. You can see that game table. Like I said earlier, I moved it out into the hallway because I just am tired of having these tables higher than the chairs, now that I know that's not the ideal. So I've lived knowing that that's not how you're supposed to do it for a whole year, and I'm finally ready to make some changes and move some things around. I'm also really tired of this pink chair. It was I got it for free, and it's a Henredon chair. It's very high quality, but it needs reupholstering so badly. It's so faded, and it also now has this big ink stain where one of my children put a pen on the arm, and I'm so tired of looking at it. So I decided to move it out. And this is a great table. It's too high and it's kind of cramped and crowded in here. It unfolds into a game table, which is really great. So I moved that out in the hallway and replaced it with the circle table like I showed you earlier. All this moving stuff around is really motivating to take down the Christmas decor, which is what I really should be doing. But I just have to stop. I get these ideas and to move things, and it helps keep my spirits up because it is sad to see it all come down. There's so much anticipation and excitement building up to Christmas, and then taking it down is really kind of a bummer. But like I said in my other video too, focusing on making things cozy for winter, and also thinking about my wishes and dreams and what I'd like to do in the house, and also doing little things that I can do right now, like swapping out tables or just moving furniture around, is helping to just lighten the heaviness of taking all this stuff down. I took out all the greens and reds, but I decided to try to leave these gold spray painted magnolia buds and some of the pine cones just to add some sort of stripped back winter sparkle. So I put those in a vase. Here's my collection of berries and ribbons. I'm trying to be very neat and tidy and put this stuff away for next year so it'll just look beautiful when I get it out, which will be sooner than we know it. I know this year is just gonna fly by. I can feel it. Got to be pretty late and I was still working on taking things down. It's kind of amazing how long it takes, and it looks so bare and dark. But there's still some beauty shining through in sort of this clean, wintry January way. And then I got an idea for my entryway, which is right here. I've had this little console table there for a while, but then bing, I saw a picture. It was a Miles Red design, and he had a secretary right by the front door. Well, we have a secretary. It was in our dining room, and we really weren't using it for anything. It was another piece of furniture that we just, my husband's family just gave to us, and we weren't really sure what to do with it. But then I was inspired by this picture, this Miles Red design, where he had this secretary by the front door, and he had the, I don't know what you call that foldable part down, and then there was a lamp on it, and then he had an umbrella stand next to that. And I thought, well, I have an umbrella stand, it's somewhere else, and I have a secretary it's somewhere else. I'm going to put him right by the front door. So I enlisted my boys to help me push this out into the front hallway, and we moved that console table upstairs. And then I rehung this picture of Jesus above it. We're going to move that eventually to another location. But in his design, he had a beautiful gold framed picture hanging above the secretary, which I never would have thought to do. And I thought that looked really cool too. So I'm on the lookout for a horizontal gold framed picture. And I got this far that night. And then I'll show you what I got to do the next day. I have never styled a bookshelf before, or maybe I have, but not very often. And I'm a librarian and a teacher. And honestly, I've always felt pretty uncomfortable with the idea of using books as like styling, or using books because they're a certain color. I've always thought, well, no, like they're books, they're sacred in this way. But the fact is, we do have a ton of books, my husband and I together. And so I just decided to go for it, and I picked out some that have really pretty bindings in greens and blues, which is what I was looking for. And I styled these shelves along with some of our treasures, like those silver goblets we drank our first toast at our wedding. And then I have this one place setting of Wedgwood china that I think is so beautiful, but only one setting, so I put that in there. And then some other mementos, like a blue tile that I picked out of a garbage dumpster in Spain. So it's an encaustic cement tile. And some little nostalgic figurines and mementos from different trips. And I understand that styling your bookshelves this way is called bookshelf wealth, where you show interesting things that you have, plus some books. So this is my first attempt at bookshelf wealth, and I had a lot of fun doing it. I tried to keep the books, like I said, to really pretty with blue or green, and then with gold lettering. And then I put my lamp back up there, and I put a few other fun trinkets on the table itself. And this is actually going to be a place for us where we can bring the mail in and sort it, because the desk part of the secretary has a lot of nooks and crannies and little drawers to keep mail in, which is really cool. And I just love having this little lamp here. This is a little lamp I got at Dollar General years ago. It was actually a gift for my son because at the time he was obsessed with the Eiffel Tower. He thought it was so cool. But since then he's gotten a little older and now he thinks it's not so chic to be obsessed with the Eiffel Tower because it's French and French stuff is girly. His little sister got interested in France. So now, you know how that goes. So I got the lamp and then I made this little fabric shade for it, which was my first attempt at a fabric shade. And I want to get better at making them, but I still like this one, even though it's a tad uneven. And I got a couple other books and a little ceramic mushroom, and that little metal box is for holding rolls of stamps if you buy them in rolls. It can be really handy. So I'm going to try to go to the post office and see if they even still sell them that way. I haven't bought them that way in a long time, but I'm sure they still do, right? Okay, then this is the rest of that Wedgwood place setting that I was telling you about that I love. And then my husband recently gave me this beautiful orchid, and I decided that it needed to have pride of place here in our front hallway. So I put the plate there to protect the books underneath. They're really vintage, an old vintage copy of Heidi that is mine, and a little book of poems. And there is the finished result. So we have I feel like it adds a lot of welcome feeling to the front hallway. We have this very old school hallway. Our house is, it's an antique. It's from the 1870s and it has that kind of big hallway that's as big as a room, really. And I have struggled with trying to make it inviting. And so I think this is a step in the right direction. This umbrella stand was a gift to me from my husband a few years ago. He got it at a thrift shop. I think it's really cool. We had it out in the vestibule. But we can move it in here just for the effect. I like how it looks next to the secretary. And those are actual walking sticks and umbrellas that we do use. So that's fun too. Now I'm in the front hallway, and let me tell you, this is my big hope for this year, is I'd really love to paint this hallway. So it has this odd plaster finish. At some point it was wallpapered, at some point it was plastered, and then as best we can tell, the ceiling was also wallpapered. And then somebody painted over the wallpaper and it's peeling. You can see a little bit of the wallpaper there. And then the paint is peeling. And then the walls are this funny textured plaster that I really think somebody just smeared drywall on there with like joint compound with their hands, as best we can tell, probably to save the failing plaster. And it has this really cool double door and like vestibule thing on the front with brass knobs. Here's how it looks when you come down the stairs. So the thing about it is that the floor could really stand to be redone. Obviously the ceiling needs help. And then I would love to paint this plaster. And my dream is to paint it sort of a mango color. So I have a few ideas about that. And I also would really like to paint our front doors and fix the one that has a broken pane. And get some warmer, better light bulbs for that lamp. I made a few mood boards with colors that I'm thinking about. This is Farrow & Ball's Wet Sand. The trim is Joa's White. Then the door is Blue Peacock by Sherwin-Williams, which is the same color as our bathtub. This is another Farrow & Ball color called Orangerie, and then the trim is Lime White. And the door would still be that Blue Peacock by Sherwin-Williams. That's one of my favorite colors. I really love it. But there's also Hague Blue, which is slightly darker, and here it is with the Orangerie and Lime White. So I'm thinking of Orangerie, or I'm thinking of this Wet Sand. Ever since we moved in here, I've had this idea that I would love for the hallway to be a mango color. I have this memory of a room in my cousin's apartment Her mom was an interior designer and they had painted it mango, and it was so warm and lovely, and I never forgot it. And so I keep thinking of that with my hallway because I'd like it to be inviting and warm and just draw you in. So please tell me, do you like either of these colors, the orangerie with the lime white trim and the Hague blue door, or wet sand with Joa's white and blue peacock door? I also think it actually, both those colors sort of resemble this, which is the only evidence we have of a color that it might have been here at one time, this kind of ochre, old ochre color. Oh, Old Ochre by Annie Sloan might be another good one to check out. I'm also thinking of milk painting this hallway if I could find a comparable color. Little girl is waiting outside in the hallway for me to play with her and give her a cough drop. So tell me, please, in the comments, what do you think of these colors for the hallway idea? What do you think of the front door colors? And what do you think of my crazy walls and crazy peeling ceiling? Should I wallpaper the ceiling again? Should I just paint it white? Should I try something else up there? I would love to hear all of your input. And let me know, what are your dreams and plans for your house? It doesn't hurt to dream. That's the only way that anything ever gets started. So just dream away and let me know in the comments what your dreams are for 2024. I almost said 2023. Let me know in the comments below, and I will really look forward to hearing what you all have in mind. Thanks again, and I'll see you next week. Bye.